be heard, Tremail Berger.
What does it take to be heard? That was the question my good friend John and I were discussing as we sat on his balcony overlooking the cityscape of Los Angeles at 2 in the morning. After 5 hours of talking past each other, something magical happened. John leaned in and said, "Tremail, I understand you." As he paused, I smiled, and then he continued, "But no one is going to hear you. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and anyone who's ever been frustrated by a friend before."
The miracle of now, Carl Walsh.
It was the very first miracle I ever experienced. I was about 4 years old and we got our first cat, Susie. And I ran my hand along her back and I just loved the feel of the fur. When all of a sudden this astonishing sound came out of her. At first I was startled, but when I reached back to touch her again, she was vibrating. She was vibrating and making this unforgettable sound. Right then at that moment, nothing else in the world mattered to me. Madam Toastmaster, guests, fellow Toastmasters, what was the first miracle you ever experienced? When was the last time you even noticed one?
Dark Night, Chris Babson.
We pass this way but once. Our choices become our stories, become our lives. I have a story of choice that I would like to share with you. It was a bright, bright, starry night. But it was the blackest night my friend had ever seen. He sat alone in his dark home, his gun not 30 feet away, locked in his safe in a closet. He couldn't think clearly anymore. He had been 7, 8 years without a good night's sleep. He often slept 1 or 2 hours a night, never more than 4. 4 deeply fragmented hours. 5 sleep studies at UCLA Medical Center showed that he was roused out of his sleep from 20 to 40 times an hour, every hour of the 1 to 4 hours he might appear to sleep.
Live from the heart. Live from the heart. Richard Dixon.
My heart, your heart, our hearts. Is this not the place to live from, where every relationship is precious, every interaction intriguing, and even those moments of frustration are exhilarating, for we are alive? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. New York Times best-selling author Max Lucado wrote, and I quote, "To change your life, change your heart," unquote. That's exactly what happened to me. A while back, my wife and I were trying to have a baby. Lots of practice.
Against all odds. Against all odds. Palovi Zadara Vidal.
As I sat, all decked out in my red bridal sari, waiting to be married in a traditional Indian wedding ceremony, I could not help but reflect on the events that led up to this moment. A year ago, my parents decided it was time to arrange my marriage to a suitable Indian boy. In traditional Indian culture, dating is taboo. Love marriages are rare. Madam Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, did you know that the concept of Match.com was really born in India in 500 BC? Yeah, that's right. This whole idea of matching a profile and arranging a marriage is 2,500 years old.
Tell us about Gentleman's Agenda.
Wow, can I get all the fellow gentlemen to stand up? So, Gentlemen's Agenda is a group that me and the other gentlemen you see back there formed to bring the gentleman back. So that's our mission, that's our purpose, and we just think that the lifestyle of being a gentleman is a secret to success, and it's something that's missing in our society. So we've developed a program to start focusing with our youth, and we have other things coming down the horizon, but we're telling you guys right now, we're bringing the gentleman back.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Trevor. Carl graduated from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. Now, I want you to tell us about that.
Well, that's a 3-year story, isn't it? No, I saw well, I was going to UCLA at the time, and I saw a little stack of papers on the bulletin board. You know how they do, and for the first time in my life, I thumbed through them and saw this thing for the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art. They were auditioning in New York, and so I took my first trip to New York, just on a whim, and auditioned, and out of the 2,100 people for 20 places, 3 Americans, I got in, much to my amazement, and to everyone who knew me. And that was a dream come true. I came back, formed a theater company in Santa Monica, and spent 20 years in the theater as an actor and a director.
Next speaker, Chris Balton. Now I read here that you are involved in a personal and professional growth and actualization. So tell us about that.
Okay, let me try that. I think we're all into personal growth, right? I mean, that's the whole point here, is we're all trying to better ourselves and our lives. For me, it's been a long road. I started, and interesting, I wish I'd spoken with the gentleman earlier. I have a similar background, actually. I left home when I was 14 with drug problems and other problems, and very abusive dad, and lived on my own much of my teenage years, not all of them. I went back with my mom and brother for a while. And I stumbled upon theater, quite by accident, in junior college, because I graduated dead last in my high school and no one else would have me. And I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, and acted for about 8-9 years in New York, but came out here and went back to school to UCLA, and got my BA and then an MBA at Purdue, and became a corporate banker of all things. So I like learning. I have a passion for bettering myself, for learning and growing, and we are our instrument, we are our life, and that's the primary thing we need to develop and work on constantly. So the human brain isn't designed to work for us in modern society anyway, I really want. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we come to Richard. You're a real popular guy. Richard. Now, I think everybody's going to be real surprised to hear that you were a professional clown. So tell everybody about that.
Well, first I want to say I'm not clowning around when I tell you that Cosmotech is absolutely the best Toastmasters club in the area. As an avocation, I spent 10 years as a professional clown. My clown character's name is Tic-Tac-Toe, and he's 8 years old. And my twin sister, her name's Gumdrop, and she was born 5 minutes before I was, so that makes her so much smarter, you know, because of all that life experience. Tic-Tac-Toe was well known for his heart. He was always making an effort to connect with every child that I entertained, with every group that I ever entertained. And so that's the real reason I got into clowning, was to bring my heart out even more.
Palovi, I have to ask you about your wedding dress. Please share that with all of us.
I'm wearing what is called a sari, S-A-R-I or S-A-R-E. It's a traditional Indian garment. It is just one single piece of cloth that's been draped around. And for the ladies, you know, it's easy to drape, it looks beautiful. For the gentlemen, one yank and it's off, so it's pretty good. But just so that you know, these gentlemen wanted to make sure there's no wardrobe malfunction. They asked me about it. There are about 10 pins on here today, so nothing's going to happen. If you're interested in buying this, somebody asked me this earlier, in Artesia, there's Little India there, you can buy tons of saris. So